Hello and welcome to Final Light. I'm your host, Soumya Singh. Tonight's story is not about a killer who got away. It's about a father who refused to let the system forget his son. It is a story that begins in 1985 inside a small rented home in Sector 34, Chhattisgarh. It stretched across nearly 3 decades of court filings, dusty files, and endless hearings. But this story is about Allah Singh, a father who fought time itself for justice. It was the morning of 8 July 1985. Inside a modest one bedroom apartment, 21-year-old Indrajit Singh was found hanging from the ceiling fan. The police arrived and took some pictures, and they quickly declared it a suicide. Case closed. But Allah Singh, Indrajit's father, wasn't convinced. He knew his son. He was cheerful, ambitious, and he would never do such a thing. He had no sign of any despair. To him, Indrajit was a healthy and a happy child. The postmortem report raised few questions. So there were few bruises on Indrajit's face and on his neck. It showed a clear inconsistency with the suicide because those bruises on the face and neck, it showed that it was done before the murder. So there was no way that he could have done it, or if he would have done it, there were no sign of self obstructive wounds. So it was done by a third party. His feet was touching the ground and he was almost touching the floor. That was very inconsistent with the suicide because because generally when people try to do suicide, they normally want to put themselves upmost height so that there is no chance of saving them or any further injury. So this raised few questions, and also there was no suicide notes, so that clearly showed that this was inconsistent of suicide. Yet the police recorded this as death by hanging. Piece of cloth like a bed sheet was hang from the ceiling fan so that this could be staged as a suicide, and the body position showed some signs of inconsistency. It showed that he could not have placed himself this way for a suicide. It clearly showed that somehow somebody had positioned him this way after the death. According to Allah Singh's statement, there were no signs of struggle in the room, and the body position and the face scarring and the neck scarring raised the questions about the murder. The police's immediate action was to photograph the scene and file it under section 174, that was unnatural death apparent by suicide. Postmortem findings came out and it was reported that there were ligature marks that was consistent with a strangulation, not a suicide. So the generally in the suicide, the strangulation marks is towards the head. So it is from here to there, and in this case, the ligature marks were horizontal, so it was all the way to the back, and this is consistent with strangulation. It is not consistent with suicide. So this this case was then transferred to Inspector Sitaram. He saw the evidence and he clearly stated that this was a murder. So, before we go any further in the story, I would like to tell you about Indrajit Singh. He was not just another case or another statistic, he was a person who lost his life. He was just 21 years old, and Allah Singh described him as a disciplined, sincere, and cheerful kid. He loved him a lot, and at that time, he was living alone, far from his family. He went to Chandigarh just to, it's not clear what he was trying to do, but it was related to his education, and he wanted to provide for his family. He wanted to give them a better life, and he was just doing that, and his life was cut short. I cannot imagine the pain his father felt when he died so soon. Um, just 21 years old. I can't even imagine how he must have felt. Indrajit was a happy child, and Allah Singh wanted everyone to know that. That's why he fought so hard, because he wanted to tell everybody that it he was not like depressed. He was a happy person. He wanted to do so much for his family, and that is a beautiful sentiment. And whatever your opinions are about this case, we shouldn't forget that he is the most powerful person who just wanted justice for his son. So, once this case started, Allah Singh started visiting every week, demanding for investigation. Months passed and officers changed, file was moved, but Allah Singh was always optimistic. Inspector Sitaram took charge just after 1 month of this case. In August 1985, he took the file and he stated that this was a suicide. He checked the evidence. He saw that there were no sign of struggles and there were no sign of a defensive wound, but it clearly showed that the body position was not matching to suicide, and the bruising on the face and the neck indicate that it was not done by Indrajit. He added that there were some signs of disturbance in the room. There were no sign of struggle, like not like a robbery was placed there, but there were some signs of just a little disturbance around Indrajit's room that showed that might be that there was somebody there. Sitaram's report was a turning point. It was the first official acknowledgement that the case could be murder. But before Sitaram could make any arrest, the case was abruptly transferred to CBI. The investigation was handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation, and it was open, but they came to the same conclusion even after reviewing all the evidence that it is not a murder. And that was a struggle for Allah Singh. He saw another failure from the police system, for our justice system, and he refused this theory, he refused this verdict. He wanted to reopen the case. He wrote letters to the Home Ministry, to the President, and to the Chief Justice of India. Each letter was ended by a haunting light. My son was murdered, and the killer is walking free. After 10 years of relentless filing, the CBI opened the case once more, and the new witnesses came forward. There were some chance of solving this mystery at that particular time. They thought that they would be able to this time catch the killer. There were three accused people who were accused of the crime, but there were no signs of any argument or any issues between them. But there were just some speculations from the witnesses. They speculated that this might be um, why and how it happened. The three accused individual was charged. These three individuals were charged in 2002, and it was finally a murder charged. I have checked and I have tried to find the name of the three accused, but as this murder case is very old, it was in the 1990s, so it doesn't show any names regarding the suspect. There were so many hearings that was held about this case in between 2002 till 2013. Every single time Allah Singh was there. But just before the verdict was given, Allah Singh was found dead. He died of exhaustion. His heart gave out of just because of endless travel and the stress on his heart. And this is the saddest um, part of this case. Of course, Indrajit's death is very sad, but Allah Singh died fighting for his son. He never lose hope for his son, for justice for his son. And our justice system failed Allah Singh. It failed the father's hope forever to find justice for his son. And even after his death in 2013, the trial reached the verdict. The verdict found the three accused to be acquitted from the charges. So they were found innocent from their charges. Even after 3 decades, Allah Singh lost this battle. And I believe if he was he was alive at that time, he would have refused to believe this as well. Allah Singh did not live long uh, to see that day. He passed away just before the judgment. He was in his early 70s at the time of his death, and when the judgment made news, it sparked a quiet storm. It wasn't viral, but it was powerful. Everybody was sad for a lesson. On Reddit r slash India, one wrote 28 years of verdict that solves nothing. Our justice system did not fail his son, it buried the father. Another commented, it's haunting that the man who kept his faith in the system longer than anyone else didn't live to see it deliver. On Twitter, a user posted, Allah Singh's case isn't about a murder, it's about time killing justice. Others debated that the CBI and how two investigation reach the opposite conclusion on the same evidence. So how could this be possible? Few voices defended them that you can't convict without proof, no matter how tragic the story is. But collectively, everybody was overwhelmed that the man who fought the system harder than most of us will was not able to get justice for his son. And to believe my thoughts on this particular case, I I honestly don't know what to believe. Because there were no signs um of us of anything besides the bruising on the face and the neck. But the body position was weird, I believe, because if um, the person was so close, like his feet was just this close to the uh, ground. So if his um, feet were so closed in the time of despair and in the time of death, everybody's instinct kicks in. That's why nobody can drown themselves, because the final instinct, it kicks in, and you are not able to change that. You won't be able to change your instinct. It will always be there. So I personally believe that this was not a suicide, just because of the positioning of the body and how the ligature marks were. It was probably placed after the murder, and this is just a very sad case, and I can't even imagine this, honestly. Allah Singh's story is not about winning or losing, it's about persistence, and it's about optimism. He loved his son, and that's why he fought so hard. He was not a politician, not a lawyer, not a man with influence. He just was a father who believed in the truth, who believed in justice no matter what. So, this is a really sad case, and if you find this video interesting, and if you find that this struggle this man, Allah Singh, should be heard by the public, then please share this video and please comment and let me know what your opinion is. I would love to see all of you and what you think about the case. And if you have any future reference or case you want to talk about with me, please send that on the comment as well. This was Final Light, and I'm your host, Soumya Singh. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, every silence hides a story.